I'd like to preface this video by saying I actually recorded it live in call with my opponent, so if you're interested in checking out what that sounds like, the link will be down below to an unlisted video where you can watch the entire thing. Anyway, let's get into today's battle. Hello everyone, it's the Canadian Wi-Fi. Welcome to week 8 of the CCL. This is going to be against Pippo, coach of the Leech Seed United. This is a pretty big game, playoff implication-wise. We're into Divisional League play once again. I have one game remaining against each opponent that I am chasing, or not really chasing, competing with for a playoff spot. We're all relatively tied. I have a game in hand on all of them. The problem with having a game in hand and winning in a tough division is that everyone else also wins and you don't gain any ground. So now that we're in divisional play, every win I get almost knocks someone out. So the more I win, the better off I am. This is going to be against Pippo, like I mentioned. Looking at team preview, looking at my team in particular, I suppose is what I should touch on really quick before the game starts. Keldeo, pretty standard outside of the last move I'm running. I'm running Calm Mind 3 attacks. The third attack, I needed an attack that hits not only Mega Altaria, but also a Zoom Roll, and I came up with Hidden Power Poison. Yes, I'm running Hidden Power Poison Keldeo. Mega Manectric is completely standard. The Latios is actually pretty weird because I was really worried about his Rotom Wash for some reason, just in case he brought it. The Latios is Dragon Pulse to hit the Rotom Wash hard. Defog Recover because I realized I need Rocks gone on my field, not only for the Chesnaught, which I'll touch on in a minute, but also for the Tornadus because it needs to be a full to switch into Gengar reliably. And then the last move, in case I got burned from the Rotom, T-Waved or Toxic from the Chansey, etc., I have Psycho Shift. Turns out to not be very useful. Surprise, surprise. Other than that, I have Belly Drum Chesnaught. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a dream. When I drafted Chesnaught, I knew, I don't know what week I was going to bring it. I didn't know when I was going to whip it out, but I knew when I did, I had to pull it off. I had to get the Belly Drum sweep. There's only one set on Chesnaught that isn't complete garbage, and it is Belly Drum, Sub, Drain Punch, Seed Bomb. And that was basically what I went into this week building around. I looked at Pippo's team and I said, against the 3 teams that I'm going to be facing left in this season, his compilation of Pokemon is probably the most sweepable by Chesnaught. And if you look at what he ended up bringing this week, very sweepable by Belly Drum Chesnaught. The only real problem was going to be the Altaria. Next up we have Tornadus. Tornadus is kind of specially defensive. It's a lot bulkier than normal with Assault Vest. It's actually physically based. It has knockoff superpower, U-turn, and Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice is only put on there because he has a Landorus of his own. I actually had no way to touch it until I went back and changed Aerial Ace to Hidden Power Ice on my Tornadus. Anyway, knockoff kills Gengar, which is really what I need it for because Gengar is a massive threat. That Gengar, I originally drafted it, I traded it to Joe for Talonflame, Joe dropped it, and then Pippo picked it up, so somehow Gengar, the Mon with no switches, has been tossed around this entire time, but I'm now facing it. And in the last slot, really quick, we have just standard Soft Sand, Max Attack, Stealth Rocking, Landorus, Therian. Looking at my opponent's squad, like I mentioned, threats, Mega Altaria, I don't really have much for it. I mean, I have Hidden Power Poison Keldeo, I have HP Ice Manectric on the modest set, which will do about half, but I don't have a definite way to beat it one-on-one. On top of that, I don't know whether it's going to be physical or special. Outside of that, a Zoom Roll could be a bit of a problem, but I do have a couple ways to whittle it down. Leading off, I'm going to lead off with Tornadus simply because I didn't want to get caught trying to figure out whether he's special or physical Lando or trying to switch into Gengar turn 1. So I figured if I led with the Military General sporting that Assault Vest, I would be able to get a knockoff off turn 1 against whatever he wants to lead with. He ends up switching in Chansey. That's fantastic. I could superpower it right away, but it won't kill, so I just decided to make the safe play. You turn out into my Mega Main as he just opts to set up the Yell Stealth Rock. For a second here, I wanted to Thunderbolt really badly, but then I had to stop myself and go, hey dude, it is a Chansey. don't get too excited. Just Volt Switch off of it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Volt Switch out into my Hey Soul Sister. This is gonna give me a free chance to defog away the hazards that he just set up, and I will be at 100% after leftovers, and everything will be hunky-dory. I knocked off his Chanseys of Highlight, and that's basically all that's happened to the first few turns, which is fantastic. So, Intimidate the Azumarill should be able to take this hit. It should only do about 60 to 70%. Oh god! Mega Manectric, where did you go? What happened? So, that's a pretty unfortunate way to start the game off, but what's going to happen here is it's going to give me a free switch into Chesnaught, and at this point I'm basically like, well, if the team was based around sweeping Belly Drum Chesnaught and he has a Azumarill in right now, there's no better chance to at least throw up a substitute. If he is banded, I'll be able to get a free sub, like completely free, and if he goes for a player off, I can always switch out afterwards, and see how she goes from there. Anyway, he's going to switch out right into Mega Altaria. I don't know whether he's going to be physical or special. I'm assuming physical, but on the off chance that he is special, I'm going to have to switch out because obviously Hyper Voice would just clean me out, and there goes my win condition. So he's actually going to Mega Up. He's going to go for Hyper Voice, and it does an absolute truckload to Landorus. Obviously, I switched in hoping he would be physical, but I mean, what was my switch in even if he wasn't? I mean, if he was special and I switch into Torn, what do I do? HP Ice for 20%? Yeah, so going to be able to get off an Adamant's Earth Plate, Earthquake, and it's going to do about 70. Going to go to Keldeo. And he was predicting Icy Wind. I actually go for Hidden Power Poison. Now, here's something to note here. I have no switch into Azumarill. Now that Mega Manectric died and Lando died, obviously he's going for Player Off this turn. I can't switch in Lottie. I need Chesnaught, as it's basically the only way I can win, and Tornadus is uber valuable. Like, if I lose Tornadus, I just lose to multiple Pokemon on his team. So, I remember doing a calc before, a couple weeks ago actually, during an OU game, and if you get the burn with Keldeo, if you get the burn with Scald, Keldeo can live a Player Off from an Azumarill from full. So that was basically my plan. I'm like, you know what, I have a 30% chance to not be out of this game yet. And lo and behold, I end up getting it because Keldeo loves me. And there you go. I'm still in the game. It's not over yet. He's going to end up sacking his Azumarill here. He's going to cancel out my lefties by going for Aqua Jet. Fine play by him. And Scald's sexy new animation is going to be able to finish him off. I'm at about 40% after the end of the turn. Unfortunately, he is able to go to Gengar. Now, the Assault Vest spread I'm running, I did a bunch of calcs before the game, and basically Shadow Ball and or Sludge Wave were only supposed to do about 38 to 45. So the fact that he did 50 immediately tells me that he is Specs. And in fact, I actually, because I was in call with him, I held up a little thing in front of the screen that said Specs Gengar PK Face during the live. So once again, shout out to that live. It's gonna be down below. Anyway, I'm gonna go for my free knockoff. I'm gonna be able to knock off the opponent's Choppleberry, which is really nice to get out of the way. Heatran with a Choppleberry would have potentially thrown a wrench in my plans late game. We'll have to see though. At this point, I don't really know what he's going to go for. I'm going to switch into Lottie because it's not very useful, and at the very least, he can't really hurt me. At this point, I really should have doubled back into Keldeo. I just didn't want it to take like a Fire Blast from 40% and die, because I needed to keep his Altaria low. Unfortunately, he's able to get his Altaria in on a Dragon Pulse, and like I said, it's my only attacking move. I don't have Psyshock, so wasn't able to go for it. And look, his Altaria is full again. My Hidden Power Ice is going to reveal itself to do less than 30%, so it's not even a 3-hit KO. Even a crit would barely make it a 3-hit KO, and his Hyper Voice does a ton to me, so what can I do? Like, I have to sack something here. I would have loved to sack Lottie here and go into Keldeo, but I figured he would Roost, because 2 HP Ices might have killed me, right? If I went for 2 HP Ices back-to-back there, it would have died, so I assumed he would be forced to Roost. I can sack, or I can get Keldeo in for free. Basically, I didn't want to go to Latios in case he, I didn't want to go to Latios in case he roosted, and then I'm like, well, shit, now what do I do? Just in general, I didn't leave myself very much playground on this Mega Altaria, did I? So I made one poor prediction. I'm gonna go to Landorus. This is a Tornadus. This is a bird. This has wings. He makes an arguable large misplay here by switching out of Altaria. I don't think he would have lost if he just continued to stay in and click Hyper Voice, but regardless, this is where my heart started racing when I was live recording, because I realized I have a chance. All I need to do is let this die, which he ended up playing right into my hands perfectly, because he goes for counter, kills off my Torn. This turn, if he doesn't T-Wave or Toxic, or if he switches out, I just win. And ladies and gentlemen, you might think I'm bulletproof. But I'm not. He actually told me late game, he's like, that was a roll on my Altaria, and I'm like, actually, the nickname of my Chesnaught is literally a reference to a Taylor Swift song, where the lyrics state, you might think I'm bulletproof, but I'm not. And ladies and gentlemen, Overgrow Chesnaught is able to kill Altaria from the range it was at. And at this point, it's just gonna sweep him. I actually pulled it off, clutched from the hands of a terrible, disgusting 5-0 where I couldn't kill a single Pokemon pretty much. I didn't prepare well for Mega Altaria at all. And luckily, I didn't really pay for it. I walk away with a 2-0 win. Pippo was a huge good sport about it. He was really friendly to me. He wasn't, I mean, like, what can you say, really? I got him with what I set out this week to make my dreams come true. I set out this week, I drafted this Pokemon for a specific reason, to get 1 Belly Drum sweep this year. I brought it to 1 game the entire season. It was this game. And you know what? Got 5 kills and didn't die. So that is going to be week 8 against Pippo. I really hope Pippo can make the playoffs. I do like the guy. So we'll have to see how that turns out. He still has to beat Joe and Roger if that were to be a thing. I can help him out by beating Joe, but I mean, Joe is not exactly a pushover. Joe's a pretty damn good player. So I believe next week is actually going to be my week 9 against Joe, the rematch. Last time it was probably the best battle in the CCL so far. It was a very tightly contested, came down to Scald Burns bullshit, just standard Pokemon pretty much. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Good old fucking Chesnaught. You might think I'm bulletproof, but I'm not. You took a swing, I took it hard. And down here from the ground, I see who you are. That was terrible singing. I hope you guys enjoy this one, though. Just check out the link down below to the live in case you're interested in it. Check out the links I dropped down below. Check out the description on this one. Check out Chesnaught. Just chilling. Tell me why. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Hope to see you next week when I take on Joe. Bye, guys.